Bill, my man, what's up, Lord? What can I help you with today, dude?
Oh, I took a trip to the coast this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to do something for me.
Cool.
Um,
How'd it go with Dawn?
well, a lot of objections to doing it, and then she pretty much turned 180 and says, "Well, you take your trip to the coast. I don't want you holding it against me for the next 3 months." I mean, it's like what I expected,
Well, first,
but
before you go on, so she's referencing old Bill right now, correct? You would have.
absolutely,
Okay, and so how did
she's
that? Did you get all triggered? Did you feel okay with that?
I felt okay with it. We talked through it. It got kind of rough because I was telling her that I need to do some things for me. I need to get out and I need to have time to reflect and just I need some me time.
Okay, so I can appreciate that. Did you spend any time? Like, she might not have been ready because her insecurities, right? She might not have been ready
Right.
for you to talk about that yet. Did you spend some time trying to honor what she was feeling, letting her feel?
I did. I actually I actually invited her, but told her, something. I just want to fish for a while. I want to be out on the rocks, and she can't go out on the rocks because of her balance thing
Mm-hmm.
the with her sickness, and so I figured that would still give me time by myself, and she could go off and do something else, and she didn't want to do that because the weather conditions over there weren't going to be prime for her, and I let her know that it was just it's nothing that I plan on doing is in any way nefarious. It's just I need some time for me. And I did try and smooth it over, and like I said, it ended up with well, go. I'm not going to have you holding it over me.
Oh, so she did end up going?
No, she did not,
Oh,
because the weather conditions weren't right for her.
that's what I thought you said. So
Yeah,
she originally was going to, but it was a negative context, and then the weather got her to pull back. Is that correct?
right.
Okay. And so you went. She didn't go. Did you spend some time trying to connect with her while you were gone, or did you just go be for you right now?
I just went and I was being for me.
All right. And did it
um
cross your mind to love her, value her, respect her, especially with those insecurities, especially how she had negative connotation about you going? Remember,
well
it
she
won't
was in
always be this way, but right now
yeah
it is, right?
well she was in church the majority of time that I was over there, so
Okay.
um there wasn't really any way to connect with her. I was thinking of her the entire time that I was over there. It was the first time that I'd actually done that for this purpose, um, since I've started the reset. And I got to say, I didn't truly enjoy myself the entire time I was over there. It was more, I was worried about her. And,
From
and
a
then,
place of love or from a place of guilt?
no, from a place of love, because
Okay.
once I got over there, the conditions weren't right for, I was going over to fish. Conditions weren't right for that. So I decided to go exploring, which is something she absolutely loves to do, which
Mm.
is one of the reasons, knowing that the conditions were going to be what they were, and is one of the reasons why I wanted to go over with her. So we, I ended up, um, well, this is in Central Oregon. They have a lot of ATV riding on the dunes. So I was just about ready to come out and head home. But then I thought, oh, there's lots of time. I want to go out and check the dunes out. Never done it before.
Hmm.
And that was the time where I was thinking, gosh, I really wish she was here
To go explore with her and
to go explore with me. Yeah.
well, man, I love that so much, but I'm seeing so many wonderful positive things here. So, one, you're understanding that your connection is rebuilding with her, and it's not from a place of guilt, it was a place of joy that you wanted to bring her along. Number two, you still maintained your manic control. This is something that you wanted to do for yourself, although I wouldn't call this purpose. What is very special about time alone is that it gets you in your own head thinking, right? And so, yes, you thought about Dawn, but I'm sure you thought about a lot of things. You probably thought a lot about the journey you've been on right now in the reset. You probably thought about purpose, for example. You probably thought about just how good you're feeling lately. And I want to know, though, did you start to go down any negative paths, any contempt, resentment, just negative in general? Anything at all? Guilt, even?
Oh, when I stopped to get lunch, I stopped at a place that we hadn't stopped before and um, got some fish and chips and a beer and I was looking at the price tag for it since this is a little resort town.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of lunch was pretty high, and I was going,
Mm-hmm.
man. So I felt a little bit guilty about that, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't because it's nice to treat yourself once in a while. And one of the things that happens when we are trying to go get our wife, right? We're trying to show up as this lover and trying to make her feel loved, valued, respected. And so when you start to treat yourself, you can feel bad. It's like when you started the reset. A lot of men don't come in the way that you came in, and they don't understand that they should be able to spend money on personal development and growth, right? That's treating yourself, And there's lots and lots of examples. I'm sure you can think of it too. But so that kind of feeling is okay. I mean, especially knowing where you're at financially, it's definitely, there should be some thought process going through that. We just don't want to sit in that. It's not like you are abusing money. It's not like you are blowing money in all kinds of places. You're living this alter ego, this other life without her. And it sounds to me like we've even got some really big positive stuff here. This could have been a blow up for her, insecurity wise, based off of everything that I know about you. So I want to pat you on the back right now. You must be doing a lot of things correctly with the insecurity, stat responding, so that this wasn't a 3 day thing. You know what I mean?
It was it wasn't pleasant when I got back.
At first. Oh, I was going to ask you before you get into that. Did you come back and were you a lover? Did you tell her how much you thought about her, how much you missed her? Or did
Yes.
you tell her only because she said something?
No, I told her exactly what I was thinking, and I and like I said once, yeah, I was very in control when I talked to her when I got back.
Good. And question,
Um,
because the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we've not talked a lot with you, past man with impact or man in control. We're spending most of our time there, and man at play is one of the biggest ways that we're going to get over insecurity. And so I haven't heard a lot about it yet, and that's why I wanted to talk about with you a little bit today. So let's see if I can level you up. Did you come in and were you excited to see her? You had all this positive energy, or were you afraid to come in? Were you hiding a little bit? Like, what was the message actually conveyed to her? Because the tone changes everything.
oh, I wasn't afraid to come in.
Good.
I came in, gave her a kiss, and got a cold treatment from
Okay.
right off the bat,
Handle it like a
and
lord.
handled it like a lord. I
Good.
immediately started getting, well, where did you go, and who were you
Right.
with? And it was like, that's all by my lonesome, babe. I said I went exactly where I said I was going to go, and I did exactly what I said I was going to do, and I was by myself all day long. I said that was the purpose of me going, was to have some me time.
Okay, so now you're getting into lecture versus pillow talk, right? Like you're talking too much, which is coming
Uh,
from a place of trying to make her feel better, which is fixing things, right? Just answer the question, right? Where do you go? Who you're with? Well, I went to whatever this resort town, and if I was with anybody, you were running through my mind. Be a player, be cute, have fun.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I was with you all
Super
day.
simple. Yeah, honestly, like especially with insecurity, if we try to talk too much, lecturing becomes a real problem. And I know you weren't full on lecturing, so I don't mean to downplay your efforts here. But we want to just go back to it, answer the questions, dial it back, answer the questions. We need her in that loving, empathetic state and feeling like it's safe to feel. And then as she brings the questions up, you'll answer more. And by having fun, we can drop a lot of that guard, provide the structure for where we want to go. Now, you have to
Right.
be careful with the fun, right? You can't make it a joke that she's insecure, right? Make sense?
It does. Yes.
Okay, so hearing that, how do you think you would have responded practicing that going forward?
Practicing that going forward is I need to realize that yeah, I can't react in the manner that I have reacted in the past, and that always leads to bigger problems.
Yes.
But leveling up to the joking about, or not joking about, but using a light manner, I think that would help enormously. For the
Yeah.
simple fact is,
Oh, sorry, Finn.
she that's one of the big problems that she has with me is that I deflect and I don't keep a light manner about me when we start talking about things. I think we talked
Okay,
about this a little bit ago.
I think it was you that we were on the group call, and I think I was talking, and maybe you just remember it from the group call, but one of the things that I'm trying to really get across to you guys is we cannot replace not yelling, or sorry, yelling with not yelling. And this is a massive misconception because our wife says, if you know, like Catherine used to say to me, if you were not, I'd be more horny for you if you were not yelling. You know, I'd want you more if you weren't yelling. And so the need is to stop yelling, right? And so that's her need. So we want to listen, make her feel seen, heard, make her know that we understood and we stop yelling. So we think we're doing it right. But what's missing is not the yelling and the not yelling. It's that the actual need is the structure and the direction for you where you want to go. Back in the beginning, when things were awesome, we weren't yelling, but we were also lighthearted. We were having fun. We delivered it with confidence so that you came home and you loved her. You stop, you dip her and say, "My God, I've been thinking about you all day." Now, that's not lighthearted or fun, but it's firm and real and assertive and manly, right?
mhm.
Let her get insecure. Be more manly. Let her feel. Are you kidding? I was totally with someone all day. You, say it fast if you're saying it that way, right? You, I can't stop thinking about you. I missed you so much, baby. You know? And why don't you tell me what was going on? Did you think about me? Was that running through your mind? You know, turn it into the banter and have some fun. Get her where you
Yeah.
want to go. Now, that doesn't mean she's going to follow Bill. It doesn't. Especially if she's in that zone, sitting in her pain, right? But
Hmm.
as long as you safe react, maintain your impact, right? Know where you're going, manage control, provide the structure, you ultimately will get her following along, knowing it's okay to feel, letting you know that she's insecure. The goal, of course, down the road is to have the insecurities be managed, right? Excuse me. But you see how this is like a level up from where you're at?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Speaking of man at play, so one of the best ways to get over insecurities is, of course, to be a man at play. So love, value, respect, be a lover, right? Make her seen and heard. Be a player. She's your woman. You're her man. And then magnet stuff is kind of all filtered throughout. But what is your dating life like these days together? How much time are you spending on mini dates, home dates, going out
It's been very little.
because of the
Um,
renovations?
because of the renovations, we've been spending a lot of money on getting this place complete, which is it's basically done. We're just waiting for um, people to come in and waiting for that one person to come in and say, "Yeah, I love it."
Right.
And
Okay, so this is going to be a lot like a job, right? Renovations, massive, right? But you got to remember what your priority is, right? So you don't have to spend a lot of money on dates. I mean, for crying out loud, you didn't have to go anywhere. When Catherine and I saved our marriage, it was COVID time, man. We started to spend time together all the time like everybody else, but we turned it into a beautiful partnership, relationship, right? She's my woman, I'm her man, right? I want you to think of the same thing. Start being cute, man. Telling her the reasons. You've built your lovers list, correct?
I haven't yet.
You
I
haven't
did
started
through
your
the
first reset. Now this one you need
the
to.
first reset.
Okay, so
Now
you
this
have.
one I need to go through.
Yeah, so start a note on your phone. Oh, you don't have like a big smartphone, do you?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah,
As a
okay.
matter of fact,
Check your notepad, man, because that's where I would have told you to put it.
I don't believe. Nope, I got the safe reactions.
Good job. I'm glad you're saving this stuff. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Go ahead and look through your phone in a little bit, but I want you to spend 5 or 10 minutes a day thinking about all the reasons you love, appreciate her, excuse me, value her. I want you to think of this list all the time and always add on it. Okay? So far to date, you've been incredible at doing the homework I give you. This list is going to do a couple things. One, it's going to help you when she's insecure. I know you're getting really good at stat responses. Like you've come night and day. And it was a lot before we had version 4 of the reset. You were already doing so well, right? But now you've come along. Like I haven't heard about your 3 day binges and all that stuff for a little while now. Okay. So you're
Haven't
coming
there
so
haven't been any.
I love it. I love it. I feel like that's been 5 or 6 weeks now, right? So we're not going on the anger binges. We're not shutting down. You're doing so much better. Now, you're not only that, but you're doing so great with stat responding and not safe reacting. So when you're focused on this list 5, 10 minutes a day, building this list, that will make stat responses so much easier because you're always aware of what you love so much. Okay. Now, this is what I want you to do with it for Man at Play. You might not have a ton of money and time to do a bunch of things, but use the list to leave a note for her. Make a heart out of sawdust, and then when she sees the heart, I'm just using sawdust as an example because you're renovating, but when she sees the heart and says something, give her a compliment, an affirmation from your lovers list. Okay. I think
Okay.
that you're the best partner, and I mean, I'm just referencing renovations here. I loved watching your brain work and how you designed this, and this, or whatever. Incredible partner. Thank you. You know what I mean? And tell her from your heart what you mean. And that's what that list will do. Will make her feel so much more appreciated, right? As well, you can also start because she knows you're in the program and she knows that like she's doing her best here. So I want you to start encouraging her the work that she's doing, trying not to be insecure. If she didn't lose it on you for 3 days this time about being insecure, that's a win. She's following your lead, right? For you not
Yeah.
going on your binges, that means she's following the structure. That's type one, dude. Even though it doesn't look like it, right? Because she's still feeling it. Well, that's a battle that any of us that have insecurity will always face, right? So you can start to encourage her with things like that. That should be on your lovers list. I love how you're focused on personal growth and development. I've seen it firsthand with the way that you've been working through insecurity and trying to trust me. You don't have to say she trusts you. You don't have to lie. You know, you just have to be real. Okay, make sense?
It does.
Okay, and then mini dates, man, just stop and think. Just pull out the Gottman card decks. Pull out a song. Stop the renovation for 5 minutes and dance with your wife, right? Or just look at her and say, I just want to appreciate your beauty. I love the way the sun's coming in from the new window on your eyes. I don't know. I'm making it up because I haven't seen the renovation, but you know what I mean? Like, start to be the man that flirted with her, that loved her, made her feel that connection as man and woman. Okay. And along with that, don't go for the same old boring kiss, right? That come in and see you, like come in and miss her. Let her know she's missed. right? And this is fine if you don't go away, if you're just going to the hardware store and come back, you know? Saw a cute family and just thought, wow, like a husband and wife that's, let's say they're 80 and they're walking through the hardware store. I don't know. If you see it and it makes you think of her, communicate that to her. I saw this old couple picking out door hinges, and I was just like, man, I hope we're not renovating at that age, but I hope that's us if we are. My God, I'm lucky to
Yeah.
have you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then give her a kiss, squeeze her bum, whatever, twirl her around. You know what I mean? If you can start to level up your man at play, then you're going to find that you're gonna start to make her insecurities feel a lot differently, right? And you're going to start to feel more connected to her too. Look, she's following your lead, dude. So give her more of what she's also missing in the other area. Okay? And then as far as, do you guys have cable or YouTube or anything like that on TV or what? What do you do?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead and pull up something on YouTube that you guys want to learn together or something. Beyond renovations, right? Beyond, like get into some fun stuff. You know, you go down a rabbit hole, man. What would be exciting? Let's just see. Google or sorry, YouTube. Like search something like over 50. What do we do? Whatever it is, right? And
Yeah.
start planning things, and then making those things happen. You can search with words like free things to do, right? So that you can keep putting your money into your renovations, right? Okay. And
Sounds
then
good.
one more thing, you definitely could start making dinner together or something like that. You're eating anyway, right? And
Oh yeah.
if you're ordering something from Skip the Dishes or whatever, then order something special for $20 more one time or something like that where you guys can enjoy it together. Or if that is happening, then go on a date once a month at least while you're renovating. Something. Okay?
Well, we have a 4 day, 5 day trip coming up here to Yakima, which
Okay, cool.
is someplace that we haven't been, and we're set up for a little campground about 40 minutes from it for
Nice.
uh, for a revival meeting coming up on the 17th or the
Very cool.
weekend of the 17th. So this is going to be a good get out and play and be with each other type of situation.
Okay, so you mentioned that she loves to explore. So find somewhere there that you can explore, preferably not just on the campground. See if something's close, right? So you can take her away. So it feels like it's like the traincation dates, right? So it feels like you're going, so it's like beyond just leaving home now, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
then beyond exploring, see if there's anything that you guys might like to do that's closer. And if you're uncertain, just give her choices. Be like, hey, babe, I saw this waterfall we could go look at, and I saw this cute little paddle boat thing we could do. Which one sounds cool? Well, neither. Well,
Oh,
you know what I mean? And then you know how to
yeah,
handle it, right?
yeah. We've been talking about it, and she wants to take the kayaks because we're camping right on the Natchez River, and the Mount Rainier is another few miles just right up the road, and so we're starting to plan different things that we can do
But you
to
do
get
it
out.
too. You do it
Oh
too.
yeah,
And the reason why, like, I'm going to say waterfall because it's obviously a romantic thing, right? Well, kayaks could be too. But, like, whatever it is, that's a great opportunity to say some things from your heart that can start to make you feel connected, especially when you're away. You know, a lot of times we think, all right, weekend away or 4 day trip away, this is sex fest. Well, whatever. There's also so much time to connect and build the other levels of
mhm,
intimacy, which you guys need bad because you're
yeah,
consumed by renovations. She's often fighting insecurities. You've just gotten over the hump with the anger stuff. And I'm not
yeah,
saying we're going to be perfect forever. There's no pressure there, but
yeah. I was gonna
like
I
you,
was gonna say the connect time is gonna come long before the sex time does.
and that's why it's like we know we're not going there with expectations for the sex, but we know that we're going there with an expectation of ourselves to show up in the best way that we can so that she knows that you're trying to take a wall down right now. Not that you're going to tell her that. She's just going to feel it, man. She's just going to see it. And when she doesn't, she's going to safe react and you're going to stat respond and provide the structure for the rest of the trip. because that happens too, right? It could be awkward, it could be scary, feelings come up. I don't know, maybe you go pick up the kayaks and she thinks you're sneaking off with somebody again, right? We want to make sure that we don't ruin the whole trip. We provide the structure for what the rest of the trip's going to look like. Okay?
Right.
And knowledge is power. If you know going in, always prepare for the worst, but acting like take home the Oscar, man. Acting like the direction you want to go, then you're light years ahead of everyone else, right? And then we're prepared for whatever happens. Okay? All right, so
Yep.
you've done such a remarkable job of using the reset, but this is your next step now. Okay? Man at play. It's time to really level it up. When your renovation's done, we're going to start to dive into more purpose for you. Okay?
Okay.
But I
Man at
totally
play.
understand. Yeah, I totally understand why purpose is different for you right now. You've had a bigger struggle with your emotions and anger than most would, and rightfully so. And then on top of that, renovations are, I mean, you're doing as much as you're doing, it's a lot. So I want you to work in play. The other reason is when the renovations are done, man at play needs to be ready to go. I need you practicing. Okay?
Okay. That
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Okay. Now I want to just ask you before we go though, what's your take when you say that statement? Well, the sex isn't happening for a while. We have to have the other. How does that make you feel? Are you still totally cool? Everything like you're copacetic. You love where you're going with this.
I spent a lot of time being frustrated about the fact that sex wasn't a part of our marriage for quite some time now. And dealing with it through the reset, I think I've gotten all right with it. It's something that's going to happen when the time is right. And with my help, she will be the one to decide when the time is right. I I don't want to push her into it. And
You sounds like you've perfectly understood it. You see, you're coming from a place like I did with Catherine, where, I mean, the anger binges that we went on are just not excusable, and it removes all opportunity for that until we can have this other connection level, or sorry, these other connection levels. We have to be reasonable. That doesn't mean that you won't, or you won't have some wins, but all these other wins, the gaps between your fights right now, I mean, this is remarkable, right? Like just the struggle you had just with that part alone coming into the program. So, well, let's get right to man at play. Let's bring them in, even if you have renovations. Remember that it's like pressing pause on the remote when I teach you in the reset. It's the same thing with your renovations. Those little tiny moments, man. Build to bigger ones, and we build on the bigger ones, and the connection and intimacy on all levels happen, and then we work our way up that ladder. Okay?
yep,
All right, man. I'm very, very proud of
absolutely.
you, dude. I'm very proud
Hey,
of you.
thank you. I
You've
am
come
so happy to
so
be
far.
here.
Yeah,
I
man.
am
I'm
so
glad.
happy to be here because I'd be still, well, I don't think she'd be here. And um, there's no way I'd be making the changes that I am now without the reset.
I'm very impressed, man. You know, you never know, especially with the anger side. Especially when there's guys with narcissism. When you get to bad shit, you never know how it's gonna go. And I mean, I say it, anger's a fucking beast, man. And like, you never know how it's
Yeah.
gonna go. I was worried about you for a little while there. Oh, we haven't seen Bill for a few days, And now look at you, man. Like, oh, I'm so
Well,
impressed and so proud.
when I started out, there were times where I was just sitting there going, "This isn't working. This isn't working. I'm done." And you know, it is working. It's not working on my timeline, which is I've come to grips with too, because I'm not the one that has the insecurity issues, the trust issues, and I have to realize that it's going to take her a while to realize that I'm not playing a game.
Well,
This is this is
that's
going to
the
be the new
thing.
me.
That's the thing. Like one of the most common things with man, we start making these changes, and then we're kind of frustrated because it doesn't work as fast as we want. Well, everybody's story is different. All the same symptoms, all the same treatments, but the time frame, depending on how bad we have wounded our partner is the level that we have to play with based off, remember the patience formula, right? Based off
Yeah.
of how bad we did it. I mean, if you're gone for 3 days angry and that's stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking, we can't expect her to have a nice, easy conversation, lighthearted,
No.
have fun, right? And so understanding that and owning that as a man in power, dude, again, it's like you're hitting every section of the reset. And yeah, when we say our time, man, no matter what, I haven't met a Lord yet where like it's a blip in time compared to decades of happiness. It's a blip in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if we
Yep.
can wrap our head around that, then, and back to the support thing, that yes, you have support from me, from Lords, whatever, but if we have to be able to support ourselves first, right?
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, we can't expect support from her. And that's where people get confused. And I even tell it like her strengths should carry your weaknesses and vice versa. But that's when you're a partnership. Until we're back to being full on again, like we have to support ourselves first. Show up like you're talking about. And then, dude, when you slip and you kind of have a sneer or a tone, even with the right words, she'll be there for you, even with the wrong words. And likewise, she'll slip with insecurity, but you guys will come so far that you'll be able to help her and boost her there, right? I have one more homework
Absolutely.
assignment for you. I want you to, there's a few guys in the group, right? Like Mark,
Oh yeah.
right? Mark, pay attention to the guys with with anger or resentment towards their wife. I use Mark as an example because his wife is a little bit mean, nasty, right? Still dealing with a lot of pain or anger, contempt towards him. Your ability to work through your anger will be a guiding light to those men because they're getting more contemptuous as their wife is not following. Now, this will in turn help you keep you in check so we have less slip ups because it's so
Right.
much easier outside looking in. So if you notice anybody that's feeling resentful or contemptuous, right? Remember Vince that we had a while back there? Like
Yeah.
your ability to be able to stat respond, control how you're feeling because you had it worse than them. And I know because you were me, right? I mean, I was still worse than you, but you were me. And so that will help you, bud. That will help you. It's one of the most powerful tools that they don't teach you is to go teach others. And then if you do that, you'll be practicing and reflecting on your own self. Okay?
Yeah. I've been trying to do that with a lot of different issues in the Lords, and
Hmm.
I put my words in, and um, on Zoom I try and help those that I have something to apply.
Think
So
beyond that, though. Think beyond that. So it's beautiful if you know you or you feel confident it's something you have to that's applicable that can help them. Think beyond that because even if you're wrong and another Lord says actually the reset would say this or Cass would say that or I found this more useful or whatever, that does not mean A that you're wrong or B that it doesn't get you reflecting deeper, right? And so
hmm
you'll be able to interact a little bit, or if you're not sure, you can also say, "Well, what do you think about?" Right? And then other lords will
right.
help with that. The reason is simple: the more that you can think and apply the reset to different stories, the more likely you are to always stay on track and never fall off track. Right?
Right.
Makes sense? It's
It
what I've
does.
learned from working with so many men because then all of a sudden, like I'm constantly talking to you guys. So, geez, I better level that up right now. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else before I let you go, dude?
Um, no, I think that's it, Cass. Uh,
Okay, man. Keep me in the loop. And then
okay.
you know what you got. I saw you writing it down. That's my lord right there. And then I'll see you later this week on the next call. Okay.
Okay. You're going to be on Friday, right?
Friday I'll be on. Yeah. Yeah. Nicholas tomorrow.
Okay. Yep. Nicholas has been a great help.
Oh man, he's
Nicholas is fantastic.
yeah, isn't he? Well, he like if like many of the lords just clicked and understood. It was like the missing pieces, right? And a lot of work already done. And so that makes it a little bit faster for some than others, right? And, but it means that you can count on the advice. Solid. Plus, his own experience probably resonates a lot with you from his background with
Yeah.
the mental stuff, right? Even though it's not the same, it's applicable, right? This is why, by the way, this is why I'm asking you to work with other lords as well. This is why he was able to do that, is because he was applying his knowledge to BPT or BPD to other things, even if it's just mood and anger, right? And then so all of a sudden you start to see that the different stories, same symptoms, same treatments, which means you get good at this fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I one of the things that I really want to do, and I think this is one of my purposes in this, is that I'm eventually able to help other men that are in this situation. And
Hold on to that.
I think that's going to be the biggest, aside from putting back together my marriage. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that comes out of it.
Absolutely. You got to think about this. You put together your marriage, you help other men, okay? That just amplifies both. It's kind of like the rejection
Hmm.
ladder. You just start amplifying. It's this virtuous cycle, right? You have a gift that you'll be able to learn to express and teach because you have overcome what most never will: anger. I wrote a post on it
Yeah,
today or yesterday, I can't remember, and it was like, anger management didn't work. Fucking 14 years of therapy didn't work, right?
yeah.
It was actually learning to respond, not react, choosing the right feeling
Well,
to
yeah.
change. There's so many
It's
other things, right?
anger management's just a misnomer. I mean, you don't manage the anger; you get rid of it. You
That's
have to.
it. It's just an emotion, right? Chasing a bad feeling or not. It's a trigger, right? And you started to recognize very early on. Yeah, wait, I had to point it out, but then you're like, you clicked immediately. You're like, yeah, whoa, this does feel better. This feels way better than being angry for 3 days, right? And so
It
when you
really does.
realize that, oh my gosh, it's like the weight of the world lifts off you. You can start to take responsibility for yourself. And that's why you're doing so well. Okay.
Well, I'm going to continue, and I am going to get my wife.
You got that right. And you already are. We've had so many massive wins. So maintain that mentality. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, brother. I'm going to go take my kids to swimming, but I love you. See you
Hey,
soon.
have fun. We'll talk to you
Okay,
later.
buddy. All right. Bye.
Mm, bye.